Now, before we can start that how soil is formed, we know that soil is the natural resource and it is the uppermost layer of the earth where plants grow. That is what soil is. And plants get water, mineral and nutrients from the soil and therefore they grow up. And also the process of photosynthesis takes place. And so these plants are considered to be direct or indirect source of food for all the living beings. That is why soil is very important for all of us. Now let us talk about the formation of soil. In this, the soil is formed by a very slow process of breaking down of rocks by natural forces like sun, wind and water. The rocks break down into smaller pieces. This process is continued for a very long period of time. And eventually the rocks break into very fine pieces or particles. The heat of the sun, the blowing of the wind and the flow of water and rain constantly keeps on wearing away the rock surface and turns them into a fine particle of soil. This process of breaking of rock is known as weathering of rocks. This entire process takes approximately 1000 of years. Now talking about what soil contains. It contains air, it contains water, it contains sand, it also contains clay particles, pebbles, and most importantly, soil also contains humus. Humus is basically dark in color and therefore it contains most of the nutrients. Humus is very useful for the growth of the plants. It enriches the soil with fertility. The dead decaying microorganisms therefore form this layer of humus. So when plants and animals they die, their body remains get mixed in the soil, and therefore after this process takes place, this forms the humus which makes the soil fertile, and this fertility helps in the growth of the plant. Now coming over to the next topic, that is importance of soil. We have already discussed that soil is a natural resource and it is very important because it helps in the growth of plants and plants help in the survival of the living being. Here is a list of few importance of soil. First, soil is an important natural resource. Second, soil helps in the growth of plants by holding the roots and supplying water and minerals. Therefore, it helps in the growth of the plants. Third, soil is essential for agriculture, which provides us food, clothing and shelter. Lastly, soil is a habitat of several organisms like ant, earthworm, snail, centipede, millipede, snake, rats, beetles, etc. So soil is also an habitat of a number of living organisms. So students, it will not be wrong to say that soil is important for the continuation of life on earth, as most plants grow on soil and animals depend directly or indirectly on plants for their food. Now let us come to the another very important subtopic of soil, that is the layers of soil. See, you can see the different layers that has been demarcated in the figure. You have the topsoil, then you have the subsoil, then weathered rocks, and lastly you have the bedrock or the unbroken rocks. See, these weathered rocks are called weathered because they are broken rocks. They are the parent material from which the soil was formed. Now, coming to the upper layer of soil, this is the topsoil. You can see this in the figure. It contains most of the nutrients and water. It is dark color and rich in humus. We have already defined humus. Seeds germinate and roots of small plants grow in this layer. Now coming to the next layer, that is just below the topsoil, we have the subsoil. This is light in color, and the seeping water from the topsoil brings minerals to this layer. That is, subsoil is also rich in minerals. Roots of trees grow in this layer. Then we have the third layer that consists of the broken down rocks from the parent material. The parent material is basically rock type from which the rest of the soil is formed. And the last and the fourth layer consists of the unbroken non-porous rock. Non-porous, why? Because it does not allow any water or liquid to flow through it. Underground water is collected on top of this layer, that is on top of the bedrock or the non-porous rock. Okay students, this is all for today. You can review through your lecture. Take care and stay safe.